Hey everyone, Dr. Charlie Johnson, physical therapist. I just had a woman come in. She asked me a question I hear all the time, so I want to take a moment to answer that for you. And it was this. It was, hey Dr. Charlie, she had a hip problem, some pinching in the groin, and she's had it for a while now. And she said, hey Dr. Charlie, I'm feeling like, sort of like a lump on a log here. I don't know if that's how she put it, but I'm feeling like, a bump on a log. There we go. I'm feeling like a bump on a log, and I want to get back to exercise and movement, but I don't want to make things worse. So can I run? Can I go to the gym? Like, what can I get away with so that I don't damage anything? So I want to share my answer with you in a moment here. Before I do that, for anybody who's watching, I help people get back to normal without pills, injections, and surgery. Anybody who's looking to feel better naturally, call 484-552-3767. So now, back to that question. How do we know, what did I respond to her with, and how can somebody who's watching or who is feeling some type of ache or discomfort know what they're okay to do and what they're not okay to do, and whether or not things are, they're going to make things worse or further hurt themselves? So here was my answer. I said, hey, that's a great question, and I came to my board because I'm a past teacher and that's what I do, and I said, what I want you to remember is something I call a stoplight analogy, or red light, yellow light, green light. So here was the question, how do I know if I'm hurting myself? And I said, every time you have that question, I want you to think about this analogy and sort of run it through this filter. So, red light, yellow light, green light. Red light, yellow light, green light. This is a stoplight. Hopefully you've seen one of these before. And a red light activity is something that we want to avoid if we have any type of ache or discomfort. And basically it's this. It's an activity that while we're doing it, we feel some moderate to high levels of discomfort. And the more we do it, the worse it gets. So it gets worse. It doesn't get better with movement or repetition. And then after stopping that activity, it remains worse later that day. Maybe you feel like you need to take some meds. Maybe sleep is affected. In 24, 48 hours, the symptoms still remain elevated. What do? Whatever that activity was, we need to stop that. So that could be making things worse. It's just overtaxing the system too much, and we don't want to do that at the moment as we're trying to calm things down. So if whatever this person was doing, I told her, hey, if it's a red light activity, you can't do that. Now, if it's a yellow light activity, which is basically, when you're doing it, you feel mild to maybe moderate, on that, I don't love the scale, but it is what it is. At 4 out of 10, if 10 is the worst pain ever, 0 is nothing, 4 out of 10 pain, no more than that, so less than or equal to. The more you do it, as you go through repetition, the pain decreases, so it gets better with motion. Then when you stop the activity, you notice that the symptoms resolve or go back down to normal. Then that's great. So they don't remain worse after. And later that day, again, not worse. It's not like you're having any trouble sleeping. The next day, everything is perfectly fine. That's okay. So that's a yield, right? There might be a more intelligent way that we could do it, but for anybody who's ever had any type of soreness, this is pretty much where we operate, in that we might have discomfort and soreness as we do a lot of things, but we want to keep it pretty much within this yellow light zone. Green light, she wouldn't have asked me this question because she would have no pain or problem. So the point is you want to remain around yellow light, green light, maybe, what are the two? That's a blue light. And a lot of people ask me and they want to know, or they've been told, hey, I have this injury or whatever, and I was told to just completely rest. Well, no, we want to keep you as active as possible. But when having that question of trying to figure out what can I get away with and what am I still allowed to do or able to do without hurting myself, then we want to make sure that we kind of use a filter, which is red light, yellow light, green light. If we're doing an activity and it ends up being a red light activity, then we need to stop that. If it's a yellow light activity, we need to ask ourselves, okay, how can I temporarily modify or tweak this such that it keeps at a yellow light, or it becomes sort of more of a blue or green light activity we can do as much as we want. So that's my answer to that question. Hopefully it's helpful. Please comment or share this if it was valuable, and or call 484-552-3767.